Good afternoon and welcome to our Real Estate Team Building for Success webinar today. My name is Randy Cochrane and I am the National Director of Growth and Development with Equity Real Estate. Equity Real Estate is an independent real estate company. We're currently open in 28 states. We're growing into all 50. And one of the questions that we get a lot from the agents within our company and when we're networking and talking with other agents is building a team the right thing to do for me? And so today we're going to talk about building a real estate team that thrives through collaboration, strategy, and shared goals. So let's get started here today. When you first start considering building a real estate team, we want you to ask yourself some questions. And this is going to help us determine if building a team is right for you. So these are just some really simple yes/no questions that we can all answer together as a group right now. So the first question is, are you full-time in real estate? And again, that's very simple, just yes or no. The next question is, do you close 10 to 15 transactions a year or more? Yes or no? Does your business rely too much on buyer closings? Yes or no? Are you missing systems or tools for what we call unreasonable hospitality? Do you often find yourself stuck on the phone or in a Zoom meeting when you should be present with others? And again, these are just some really quick yes or no questions that you can be answering or jotting down on your notepad. Do you believe that you're reaching your full potential? Would you like to grow professionally? Would you like to grow personally? Would you like to develop a stronger professional and personal relationship with others? Would you like to grow your income? And finally, are you coachable and willing to learn from others? And again, these are some just really simple yes/no questions to help determine if building a team is right for you. And typically, if you've answered yes to 5 or more of these questions, then you should strongly consider building a team. Now, myself personally, I've been in real estate now since the end of December of 2000, so quite a while. And when I started in real estate, I started day one with a real estate team as a team leader, and I also started with a coach and a mentor. And over the course of my whole career, I've now never not had a team and I've never not had a coach. And it's really interesting because oftentimes when we talk with real estate agents and we say to them, have you ever thought about building a team? They say things like, well, I don't know that I would be a great team leader. Or they say, I don't want to babysit. Or they just say, I'm just not ready. Or maybe they've had a team before in the past and it really didn't go as planned. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to pull back the curtain and we're going to talk about why you should build a team. Now, one thing that real estate agents and brokers really don't understand is that they have a team now, even if they're working as a solo or an individual agent. And the reason why they have that team is simply because they are surrounded by people in their business that support them every day. It could be their title company, it could be their mortgage broker, it could be their home inspector, it could be their insurance agent, it could be the home warranty person, it could be their handyman. We're surrounded by all these individuals in the business. So believe it or not, even if you're just a solo individual, agent or broker, in reality, you already have a team. The thing that may be missing from your team could be an executive or administrative assistant or a transaction coordinator, and maybe team members that list and sell real estate. So let's talk about why building a team offers so many advantages. First of all, having a team helps you with accountability and motivation. Being part of a team helps everybody stay motivated and deliver consistent results. A significant majority of team members feel like that if they're being on a team, it provides accountability, and also it doesn't feel like they're alone in the business. Also, being part of a team offers ongoing learning and development together as a group because teams facilitate easier, especially when they're learning and developing personal development. That way, team members can discuss concepts, internalize them, apply them, practice, and enhance the learning process. Also, you can get support from major brands. Many agents believe that their companies should support team initiatives, while some companies may only tolerate teams. Having a structured team program can provide comprehensive resources, including training for various roles within the team. And this is important because there are companies out there that sometimes, unfortunately, because of their excessive fees and caps, having a team adds on so many costs and expenses that it prohibits a agent or a broker owner for even building a team within their own company. And today we're going to show you how we can help you overcome that challenge. Also, having a team allows you to share the workload. A team can help distribute all the workload, allowing you to take advantage of more opportunities and manage your business more effectively. But more importantly, as a team leader, stay more focused on income producing activities because the income producing activities are really the most important part of our business. And the reason why is if you're engaged in $15 to $50 non-income producing activities in your real estate business, then you're leaving so much money on the table. Think about this. If you've ever had to have a surgery, most of the time you only meet your surgeon maybe for a couple of minutes prior to the surgery, where they're just going to ask you some questions just to make sure that they're being safe and everything's being done correctly. And then you may see them for a minute or two before you actually go to sleep on a table. And then you'll see them in the recovery room afterwards. In the whole process of a surgeon operating on an individual, everything's already been handled by their staff. And the surgeon is the one that makes the most amount of money, but also spends the least amount of time with the patient. And oftentimes we hear our agents and other brokers say, well, my clients want me. And one thing that you have to remember is your team is an extension of you. Now, some of the companies that are tolerating teams, they may or may not offer a structured team program or specific training towards a team. But the good news is equity does. Also, when you're distributing shared workload, the result of that is an improved work-life balance. So with a team, you can potentially reduce the detrimental effects on your personal life, such as constantly being on your phone, dealing with urgent issues, or having to compromise personal time for increased production. And it was so awesome to hear from one of our agents that had recently built a team this past year, to hear feedback from them saying that they were actually able to go on vacation and not even take their computer with them and turn it on and not have to be on their phone the whole time. High performance is related to teams. And the reasons why is teams perform at a higher level because there's clear purpose, consistent values, and this always attracts a higher level of talent and creates a positive team culture. Now, there are some common mistakes that you will want to avoid when you're building a team. And the first mistake is hiring the wrong people. Because if you avoid these mistakes, you're going to save yourself time, you're going to improve your team efficiency, and you're going to create a better team culture. But if you hire the wrong person out of the gate, then your team is going to have a lot of challenges. And so one thing that you want to do is you want to be very, very slow to hire and very, very fast to fire. And when you hire the wrong person, as soon as you realize that it is the wrong person, you have to make a change. Also, a lack of clear leadership. As the broker or the associate broker or the team leader of the team, whatever your role is, you want to have a clear path to where you want your team to go. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Failing to provide training and support. When you start to build a team, the one thing that you definitely want to have is you want to have ongoing training and support for your team members. That way you can not only measure the success that they're having in their business, but you can help them enhance their skill set. Over the past 14 years in real estate, we've seen the real estate market go like this. And just a couple years ago, a real estate agent could have very, very little skills, but could literally go out and stand on the real estate road tracks and the money train would hit them. But now we are in an environment where real estate agents have to not only be professional, but they have to have enhanced skills that they haven't had to have in the past. And you always want to be working on those. And again, measuring the success and the growth that your team members are having. A team leader does not micromanage. Micromanaging from a team leadership standpoint, typically when that happens is it's because the team leader doesn't have confidence in themselves. And so what you want to do is you want to delegate and you want to trust that the person on the team that you're delegating to is going to get the job done. And that's why we always inspect what we expect with our team members. And I'm just going to share with everybody right now, on my teams that I've had in the past, I've always looked for those individuals that were better than me. You're basically just being a talent scout, and that's what we're looking for is talent. Because some things I'm just not frankly good at. And if I'm not good at them, I need somebody that is good at them to do them. And I just want to hand it off. And then I just need to know that whatever that was delegated was complete once they finished that task. And then finally, you want to track performance. If you do not track performance on your team, how do you know if they're progressing or not? And there's certain things that we call money-making activities that we do in real estate. And depending on what type of team member you're hiring, their role is going to be very specific with your team. Now, you might have some team members that both list and sell real estate. You may have some team members that specialize, where some are just working with buyers only. Some are just listing properties, and some may just be working a new construction project. But in every single one of those roles, you need to track their performance on a daily basis. What are the specific steps you should take to build a successful high-producing team? Well, the first step is to set clear goals and values. This ensures that your team is aligned with your goals and your values, and that way you can hire and fire based on those core values to maintain a cohesive team and a team culture. Number two is you need to have a business plan for each one of your team members, because each one of your team members is going to want something different out of their business. And we want to meet them where they're at, but we also want to help them achieve their goals and dreams. And by creating a business plan, you not only get to define what you want to achieve, whether it's selling more homes or earning more income or helping more people, but also it can be the same thing for your team members. When you understand the individual aspirations and you're spending time on what the individuals on your team want in their lives, it's much more easier for you to support them and incentivize them to strive for those goals. One of our favorite things to do every year is a vision board party with our teams, where we all get together, we create our vision board, And then we share our vision and why it's meaningful to us. And then throughout the year, every time something is accomplished on a team member's vision board, we put a big green check mark on it, and then we celebrate that success. And it's amazing what happens when you can see it before it actually happens. Also, with your team members, you need to establish expectations. Clearly articulate expectations for your team members and use a tool like what's required to be on my team list before you even hire the agent. Because if you are very clear when a team member joins your team for that position and it's clearly defined, if at some point in time in the future that individual is not following through with all of the things that were required to be on your team to begin with, you can go back to that first conversation that you had with your team member and say, remember when. And this right here is one of the things that's going to eliminate that phrase that agents often say, which is, I don't want to be a babysitter. Well, now you don't have to be. Number 5 is developing a culture of productivity. Create a culture that encourages productivity and celebrates team member achievements. And sometimes it's just the little things. Number 6 is providing those trainings and resources. Offer ongoing training and resources to help your team members develop their skills, succeed in the roles, and attain additional designations. Number 7 is tracking that performance. And you want to implement systems to track the performance and the progress and use these insights to make informed decisions and adjustments as your team scales and grows. Number 8 is fostering communication and collaboration. You want to encourage open communication and collaboration among your team members to build that synergy and that success in your business. And then number 9 is be patient and strategic. Building a high-performing team takes time. It takes strategy and it takes patience. Following a system and being consistent in your efforts is going to be the key to your success with your team. And one thing that you have to remember is team members are unfortunately going to come and go. And the reason why oftentimes are things that are beyond our control. They're life events. And of course, we always want to get a great team member. We want to keep them on our team as long as possible. But for some reason, if they have to transition, having systems and processes in place are going to make it much easier for you to bring on another team member to replace that team member or more and get them up to speed as quickly as possible. So how do you hire team members? Well, the first thing that you're going to be doing to hire a team member is you're going to identify the role. What part of the team is this member going to be in our organization? You're going to develop that specific need that you want to fill, whether it's a staff member, virtual assistant, subcontractor, buyer's agent, listing partner, transaction coordinator, field service team. Number 2, you're going to use technology and data. You're going to use the data and the analytics to define the role and identify the necessary skills and experience. And this helps filter candidates who meet the criteria. This is what we call your perfect team member avatar. You're also going to create a clear job description that defines the details of that job, outlines the responsibilities, the skills, and the qualifications for that role. Number 4 is you're going to advertise the position. Use various platforms to advertise a position and attract a wide pool of candidates. Be clear about the role and the expectations in your advertising. Number 5 is you're going to screen the candidate. This can include reviewing resumes, conducting initial interviews, and using assessments like a DISC profile. When you're conducting interviews, you're going to interview the shortlisted candidates to assess their fit in the role and the team. You're going to ask questions that celebrate who they are and align with your team values. Once you've conducted the interview and the candidate meets everything that you're looking for, you're going to make them an offer in writing. And then you're going to discuss the terms of their employment, including what happens if unfortunately, that team member has to exit at some point in time. And number 8 is you're going to onboard and train that new team member. And of course, when you first start out, you need to give that team member a lot more love, attention, and care than you're going to need to be giving them down the road. But everything that happens with your team member when they come on board, it's crucial that that first 30 to 90 days happens very systematically. And you're going to be providing that comprehensive onboarding process and training to help that new team member really understand their role and responsibility. And what we're going to do is we're going to share with you an actual 30-day action plan checklist for building a team. And days 1 through 5, this is preparation and planning, because some of you in today's webinar, you may not have even thought about starting a team, but now you've asked yourself those questions and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to have a team. Well, days 1 through 5 in preparation and planning are defining those roles and responsibilities, creating the job description, setting clear goals and objectives for the role, identifying your core values and team culture, and then developing that hiring strategy and timeline. Days 6 through 10 are recruitment. And this is where you're going to advertise the job openings. You're going to screen the resume and shortlist the candidates. You're going to conduct initial interviews. You're going to use the assessments like the DISC profiles, and then you're going to schedule a follow-up interview. One of the things that you'll want to keep in mind when you're recruiting is ask everyone that you know about a person that they feel might be a good fit for the role that you're hiring for, and try and get a referral. Oftentimes, some of our very best team members come from the referrals of other industry professionals. Also, if you're going to hire one team member for your team, do not hire one, hire 3. And the reason why is at the end of 30, 60, or 90 days, some of those team members that you just hired may self-eliminate, or you may eliminate them. And if you hired 3 and at the end of the 90 days, you only have 1 left, that's okay. But if you hired 1 and 60 days from now they self-eliminate, or you eliminate them, then you're back to days 6 through 10 again. So it's actually easier to bring on a few more agents at one time, help them onboard and train together and collaborate. And then at the end of the day, you may actually have a bigger, stronger team than what you had even imagined. Now, days 11 through 15 are selection and that offer. You're going to evaluate the candidates based on interviews and assessments. You're going to check references and verify qualifications. You're going to select the best candidates. You're going to make that formal offer in writing and discuss the terms. And then you're going to prepare the onboarding materials and welcome package for your new team members. Days 16 through 20 are onboarding. You're going to conduct a comprehensive onboarding session, introduce all the new team members to the company culture and the values, provide role-specific training and resources to those individuals, set expectations and performance goals. You're going to start tracking those, and then you may assign another mentor or a buddy for support. Now, as a team leader, this is a crucial period of time for you. And moving forward from here on out, you should never, ever be going to an appointment by yourself. You should always have one of your team members shadowing you, whether you're working with a buyer, you're working with a listing, you're going to new construction, you're going to a home inspection, you're going to a settlement. You always want to have somebody mentoring, training, or shadowing with you on your team, because that's how they become that extension of you. Days 21 through 30 are training and development. You're going to schedule ongoing training sessions, encourage professional, personal development goals, foster knowledge and sharing, provide regular feedback and support, and monitor progress and adjust training as needed. And if you've ever watched sports before, in a live sporting event, of course, they practice a ton before the actual game, but even during the game, the players are practicing and the coach is coaching. So if you've ever watched baseball, in between the pitches, those players and in between the innings are always throwing and catching that baseball and swinging a bat. And you want your team members doing that exact same thing with your team. Now, with some companies, having a team is very expensive and it's prohibitive for a lot of agents and associate brokers and even broker owners to sometimes have a team within their company, especially if maybe you're a traditional company that's 70-30 split, 80-20, 90-10, or you have a cap that's anywhere between $13,000 and $23,000. And then if you bring on a team member, they're a half cap. There's all these qualifications and hoops and things that you have to jump through. Well, what I want to share with you today is Equity's model and how joining a set fee company can benefit you, especially by having a team. And the reason why is it really doesn't have any additional expense or very little to build a team at Equity Real Estate. And the reason why is we're a set fee company. So what that means is anytime you or a team member on your team closes a transaction, you're paying one flat fee per transaction instead of a percentage split. So what that means is you're keeping more of your commission, and internally we just split the payroll. However, you're splitting with your team members, so everybody gets the direct deposit. But the best part is you don't even have to 1099 them because we're going to do it for you. Because this is lowering your costs, this increases your profit. And because we have no hidden fees or franchise fees, you're keeping more of your hard-earned income. Also, with Equity's set fee model, you're getting full support and resources. So you're getting access to tools, training, and broker support without excessive overhead. So we're going to provide you and your team members with your CRM, your websites, your file management, and your E&O insurance, as well as our Equity Elevate program that includes our marketing center to support all your agents on your team. And finally, this gives you flexibility and independence because now your business will run while you're away and you're being backed by a reputable brokerage because Equity is growing nationwide and we are closing anywhere between 9,000 and 15,000 transactions a year. Ultimately, our goal is to get to 25,000, and we're working with our agents every day to get there. But if you're able to run your business virtually and still include your team members, whether they're in an office with you or they are working virtually as well, that's what we call click and mortar, you can still continue to build and grow a team either in your market, or what this also allows you to do is expand and grow your market, not just to your current area, but maybe even another state. Now, we've covered a lot of information today, and we want to thank you for being here. Everybody that has registered and attended this webinar today is going to get a complimentary ebook on team building for success that we're going to be sending out to you that you can just simply follow to help build yourself a profitable and successful team. Now, an offer that I always make when we do these webinars is, as the National Director of Growth and Development for Equity Real Estate, it doesn't matter if you're an agent with our company or not, we will help you. And you can send me an email at randy@equity-usa.net. You can always call or text me at 801-573-4935, or you can scan that QR code right there on your monitor, and that is access to my calendar. You can schedule a 15-minute phone call with me, a 30-minute web meeting, or a 1-hour web meeting, and we will help you with your business, again, regardless if you're with our company or not. The more that we share and the more that our level of professionalism can increase in our industry and the more skills that real estate agents have, the more referable we all become. And at the end of the day, we just want to be as the trusted advisor and provide unreasonable hospitality to every one of our clients and consumers. Thank you for joining me today. Everybody, go out, have a powerful and productive day, be safe, and let's help you build a team.